Hello class. My daughter asked me to make something that is traditional to my heritage and our family. And I told her we don't do that, we keep these a secret. But I will share one of them with you. She wanted me to do a Danish clam chowder soup. And we have a Nagel family recipe book. We don't give this out to anybody. And you don't get my clam chowder soup recipe. So instead, you're going to get my Aebleskiver. If you don't know what Aebleskiver are, they are Danish pancakes. They are round. In America, you guys have called them puff cakes, and they are not puff cakes. They are Aebleskiver. I do have a modern day Aebleskiver pan here. It's electric versus one that you put on a stove. It makes it more convenient. But I will give you the recipe. You start off with 4 cups of flour, and you put in, basically, I don't measure anymore, but you basically put in 2 teaspoons of soda. You put in a tablespoon of baking powder. You put in a dash of salt. And then you put in 4 tablespoons of sugar. Once again, I haven't measured since my dad taught me to cook, but that's the rough ingredients. You also take 4 eggs and 4 cups of buttermilk. So it sounds like a normal, pancake recipe. The trick is you take your 4 eggs and you get them just whipped. You want to whip them good. Whip them really good. When you're whipping those, you want to melt 1 stick of butter, 4 tablespoons of butter, 8 tablespoons of butter, 1 full stick. When you melt that, after you melt it, you want it to cool a little bit, because you do not want to put your hot butter into your eggs. They'll make them do funky things. So after you have your egg whipped really, really good, you can take your buttermilk. Once again, 4 cups. I don't measure it out anymore. That looks like 4 cups to me. You take your powdered ingredients. Put it in there. And your butter. Now you want to do this slower. You want to just bring that stuff all together. Your eggs are already whipped. You're kind of just folding this in. Don't want to really fold it in together. A lot of people take their eggs and they fold them in separately. I think that's a waste of time, because guys, chefs will tell you they all have their secrets, and one of my secrets is time. I don't like to waste it. Doesn't make a hill of beans difference. Once again, you're making pancakes. So you just make sure that every little bottom is covered. Really, really simple. So now you got your batter. Now with this modern day skillet, what is so neat with it is it knows what temperature it needs to be at. If you were doing this with a manual Aebleskiver pan, cast iron Aebleskiver pan. You got to get it to temperature. You have to get to that temperature that will cook all the way through, but not burn. But really fortunate nowadays, we have these cool electric pans that know what temperature. You always put a little dash of vegetable oil in the bottom, and then you take a spoon and you basically fill them about 2/3 full. And when you do that, it'll start to cook. And you want to get it in there pretty quick, so your first ones aren't being done before your last ones. And then, now you wait. The best way to tell when these are done is just like pancakes, when they start to get bubbles around the edges that aren't popping, I mean that they're popping and staying open, that means they're done and they're ready to be flipped. A lot of people use a long toothpick. A lot of people use a shish kebab. I actually have a Aebleskiver turning stick from Denmark. But see how nice this makes it. You just take your stick and you grab the corner of the edge. This one's done it, I'm flipping it a little early just to show you guys. But you just grab the corner edge and you flip it right over. You always have a test batch of how long it's taken. A lot of people like to add jelly. If you wanted to this time, they'd put a little daub of jelly and they'd push it down into the center. A lot of people would put fruit or vegetable. They'd like stick a blueberry or a raspberry down in the center of those right now. Boop, boop, boop. And when they flipped it, it'd have you a nice hot raspberry or a blueberry in the middle. Chunk of strawberry, whatever your liking is. But now, the rest of them are getting raw closer. I always like to keep me a rag handy, so when I'm flipping them, and I'm flipping them a hair early for time restraints. Growing up, my kids have always liked these with a little powdered sugar drizzled on them. So, or I grew up just putting plain sugar on them. So once they get done, and you stick them in, then you can check them now. Now that you can flip them multiple times, you know, if you want to get them nice and even. You can sit here and play with them. Actually, it's sometimes just fun to sit here and play with them. My dad used to yell at me for doing it, but now I get to do it because I'm the dad. We used to have eating contests. When I was a kid, to see who could eat the most for Christmas time. It would ruin your Christmas day because you'd be sick. But the best way to tell you is to stick the end of your stick, just like you're doing a cake or any kind of batter. You just stick it in the middle, If it comes off clean, it's clean. It's going to be a little sticky because this is a very moist dough in the inside. So when it comes out, this right here, it's done because that's moisture. That is not like rawness. Because of the buttermilk and the butter and everything in there, this is it's not a light airy, it's more of a creamy dough. So these are about done. Now we take these and we put them on a plate. Like I said, when I was a kid, we would put sugar on them. Put them like that. When I was a kid, we'd take a little bit of sugar, powdered sugar, or sugar, put them on top. A lot of people will take a spoonful of jelly. I have some homemade rhubarb jelly right here. If you're asking yourself, what is rhubarb and who would make jelly out of it, you're missing out. Take a scoop of rhubarb jelly, stick it next to it. Take a fork, cut one of those wonderful things in half. Take a little bit of jelly, take that jelly, stick it in the fork, and enjoy.